Welcome to B2B Tech Talk, Ingram Micro's destination for information on technology, business, and the people that make them run. This episode is sponsored by Xvantage, Ingram Micro's game changing platform designed to help your business run better and grow faster. Today, I'm joined by one of the most dynamic and energetic CEOs in the industry. Alex Stanton is CEO of Exbabylon, a new charter technologies company based in Spokane, Washington. Alex will share his insights into what it takes to be a modern MSP. Alex, welcome to B2B Tech Talk.
Thank you. It's very good to be here.
So, before we get started, we have a lot to talk about today. I want you to tell me a little bit more about you, about Exbabylon. I know you're the CEO of Exbabylon. You're also the CIO of New Charter Technologies. How did that come about?
Well, I founded an IT company like many people in this
Mhm.
industry. Most MSPs in business today that are of any significant size probably started a long time ago,
Yeah.
and they start out of necessity, right? So I was the guy fixing computers and crawling around under desks and all the things that you do when you start an IT company before we knew to call it an MSP.
Sure.
And I was in the cybersecurity industry early. I started my career in cybersecurity before we called it. I was a developer and worked on security scanning tools and cloud tools before we called it the cloud.
Yeah.
And that eventually my firm grew, and it 2 years ago we identified New Charter and felt that it made time to join up with other partners around the
Yeah.
country to be stronger together as one than
Sure.
alone. And I took my team of 40 humans, and we joined a group that's now a little over 1,000.
Wow. Congratulations. That must have been quite a journey. How did your associates feel about that change?
My team,
Yes.
they were. I think like anything, there's nervousness.
Yeah.
The thing that drew me to New Charter was specifically, and not to talk too much about that, but I think it's really a choice that a founder and owner has. And personally, I still want to do this. I
Yeah.
love this industry, and I love what I get to do every day, helping people help people, and doing it through technology. So it was really about New Charter let us keep our culture, which is super
Sure.
strong, keep our brand, keep our local presence. And so all it did was create pathways for upward mobility for my team members that, as a business with 40 employees, you can do a lot, but you can't do everything.
Right.
So now we can do everything and we can do anything.
I love that. That's a great tagline, by the way. Wearing my marketing hat now. You do a lot of talks on modern MSP.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, I started realizing that this industry it, and I guess I'm a millennial, right? So I get to, and I heard a lot of owners talking about what it meant to hire
Mhm.
people from my generation, and then I think COVID really blew it up, and there's still a disconnect, I think, between the MSP industry that for most of its life. Give you an example. I was early in my business
Mhm.
when M365 Exchange Online came out,
Mhm.
and I saw no reason to continue managing Exchange servers.
Right.
I thought, let's just lift and shift. The
Right.
cloud was an easy adoption for a young team,
Mhm.
and it allowed us to accelerate our growth
Mhm.
way above industry average. And I still believe in that. And I find that this industry has a longer tail on technology adoption than I ever believe. And still today, I look at what's coming, and I just think there's an inflection point in this industry that nobody is ready for. And they think that maybe I am so excited to be here today because we have to think about what a modern MSP looks like, because at the end of the day, a modern MSP isn't about just maintaining
Mhm.
technology. That's all table stakes. What's changing is, as MSPs, we have to shift into more business consultants. We have to shift more into transformation leaders. We have to understand our clients' businesses in ways that we didn't have to before, because what mattered is we kept the lights on. And now that's not really a that's not really a differentiator. So the modern MSP is thinking about what an MSP needs to look like in 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. We have AI that's going to completely change this industry. We've
Yep.
already seen it, but it's happening at lightning speed. Nobody is ready for the speed at which this is going to happen. Cloud adoption has accelerated exponentially year on year with all size organizations. We have a shift of demographics the industry's never seen. We have a shift of workforce expectations, not just for our own team, but the employees of our clients. So our customers need us leading at the forefront, helping them understand, we call it modern worker, or we call it all these other, industry buzzwords. I hated digital transformation for a long time because it was overused and didn't have real meaning. But the truth is, we are in a digital transformation era
Right.
that it's it's just as exciting to be here today as it was to be building and coding websites in 2001. It is that exciting, and the industry is going to change in a way that I think will will be representative of the early 2000s.
I completely agree with you. I think companies today have to focus on being nimble and agile, right? They can't, live in the past and take longer time to make decisions about where they're going. I completely agree with you, and I think I'm fascinated, and I love the way you articulated that. What advice would you give companies that have that longer tail, that are not certain about how to modernize their business?
Talking specifically to an MSP,
Yes.
I think the big thing is to understand that for so long we sold stuff, and now we have to recalibrate selling products to selling what really our clients want to hire us for, which is our knowledge.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we found our value in managing things and selling stuff. And now we're moving into an era that's really more of I mean, I hate to overuse it, but the as a service era.
Mhm.
Um, we haven't sold a firewall at Exbabylon in 5 years, except to rare government contracts
Mhm.
that require it. It's been as a service
Sure.
through the Ingram Micro hardware as a service program with SonicWall. I mean, we've been actively adopting this concept that clients really don't want to buy things, and we get so hung up on selling stuff that we forget that at the end of the day, our customers are waking up every day, going to do their mission. They're hiring smart people that need technology to work. They're used to technology working in their own home. So what we have to do is we have to understand that the only thing that matters is the user experience.
Right.
So an MSP needs to start thinking about what is the actual user experience at the end of the line? Like, why do they do what they do? And I think what they have to start doing is really rethinking and recalibrating what their value proposition is, and being okay with their value not necessarily being in managing stuff, but in serving as a I hate this word as another overused in this industry, but as a VCIO, as a digital thought leader to their clients. Because if we do that, then we're helping our clients navigate a world that they honestly can might be able to do on their own, but they're going to do it better with us.
I'm also seeing that a lot of folks in the industry are merging their technology skills and prowess with business, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what you're creating, is a better business outcome.
Yeah.
So you really have to understand how the business operates. And that's really where the stickiness occurs, don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at all the market trends, all the data, right? And I said demographics earlier, but we see the data saying companies are going to spend X amount more on technology in the Forbes surveys, right? And we all hear that companies are spending more on technology. But the reality is, companies are spending money very differently on technology than what they used to. It's being spent in the marketing department. It's being spent in the finance department. It's being spent outside of the IT department. So whether you're doing fully managed IT with a business that has no in-house IT personnel,
Mhm.
or you're doing co-managed work with larger organizations that have anywhere from a one-man IT shop internal to a fully fledged deep IT team. At the end of the day, most technology spend is still going to happen outside of the realm of the technology department. And what we have to do is empower and support that, because if we don't, the marketing department is just going to go do it without us.
Right. Used to be
Right.
called shadow IT, right?
Yeah, we called it shadow IT, but the truth is that was back when we were
Right.
trying to be kings of our
Right.
kingdoms. We wanted to
That's right.
control everything. And instead, we need to be more focused on distributed
Yeah.
technology. We have, y- there. I use this in my speech,
Mhm.
but every person is a CTO of their own home,
Yeah. Yes.
right? They have personal technology. We expect it to work. They know how to use it because every business is a technology business. It's just how they use it that's
Yeah.
different. So we have to really learn how to empower that in a world of software as a service, in a world where when a company goes to deploy or buy a new piece of technology, it doesn't necessarily mean that they need new servers,
Right.
right?
You mentioned co-managed services. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
So co-manage is just this idea of coming together with one or more teams
Mhm.
to empower the technology of any organization.
Okay.
So co-managed usually means an organization has one or more in-house IT
Mhm.
personnel, right? So you take an average MSP client, they're going to be 50 to 100 employees, no in-house IT person, heck, maybe further down, maybe 30 to 100
Mhm.
employees. And they're not going to have an in-house full-time IT
Right.
person. You go a little bit up market, and all of a sudden they have budget and need for an in-house help desk person
Mhm.
or an in-house sysadmin. Or maybe they're a little bit larger and they have 3 or 4 people on staff, but they still need you to help be their cybersecurity expert or their cloud expert, or they don't want to deal with network monitoring, whatever it might be. At the end of the day, those IT people and the opportunity in co-managed,
Right.
which is huge, is as we take our skills that we've amassed as MSPs over the last, most MSPs have been in business for a long time. They're very highly skilled at delivering services at scale. And we can bring those skills and our diverse experience with hundreds of clients in many different industries to empower organizations that have their own internal IT department. And sometimes that means you're working with an internal IT team, another competitor,
Right.
right?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll put air quotes around
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Competitor. And they're good at something, you're good at something, their internal team's good at something, and you're all working together for common
Yeah.
success, because the world has changed. Everybody cannot be an expert in everything, and you need to play to your strengths. And there's plenty of organizations that are willing to adapt a eclectic group of external and internal teams to accomplish their mission.
Yeah. That's fascinating. We're here at Ingram Micro One,
Yeah,
and Ingram Micro plays a big role in New Charter Technologies.
absolutely.
Talk to us a little bit about that and what that relationship is like between New Charter Technologies and Ingram Micro.
Well, I think to go back pre-new charter, Ingram Micro has been a critical vendor of most of the MSPs in our in our partner
Mhm.
group for years. I know that Exbabylon's been an Ingram partner for rocking on 15 plus years. I
Thank you.
mentioned
Thank you for your business.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that you guys, are empowering the you guys are adapting and have been the idea of even hardware as a service,
Right.
making that accessible and easy for an MSP to start layering that in early. You don't have to you know you don't have to replace your entire stack right away,
Right.
right? And
Right.
Ingram has made that possible. The way you've brought together and your vision on the Xvantage
Yeah.
platform and being able to bring together multiple cloud platforms. I actually saw the integration lab that you guys are doing, where You're saying, look, here's a group of different products
Mhm.
that are necessary that you got to bring together, right? You have to bring these, whether it's identity, security, Microsoft Cloud, and we're going to bring them together. And we're not just going to hand them to you, but we're going to show you how to integrate them. And so I think that kind of thought leadership around embracing what the vendors are doing, but not just saying, here's what the vendor has, you can buy it or not,
Right,
but
right.
actually saying, hey, here's what the vendors have, and here's how to add value to that. And looking at even the agenda today, like I, I know we still have to talk about reoccurring revenue as part of a business model because there's still plenty of organizations out there that still haven't fully embraced that. So I think Ingram sees that, and just looking at the vendors in the room as I look around here, um, you have the right people here.
That's fantastic. You have been so delightful. I have one other question for you. You're also, in addition to being the CEO of your company,
Yeah.
you're also the CIO of New Charter Technologies that now has in your group 28 companies?
Right now, I think we're just shy of 25,
25.
but we expect to exceed that by a significant number by the end of next year.
Well, congratulations on that. That's a big job, being
Yeah.
CIO of all of these companies and putting together a some sort of infrastructure that communicates across the board.
Yeah, so it's actually been uniquely challenging because New Charter doesn't have a it's an opt-in model.
Mhm.
So we don't when a MSP joins us, we don't tell them
Right.
what type of technology stack they're going to run. We don't do a rip and replace
Mm.
like many of the private equity backed
Sure. Yeah.
platforms do. We want to maintain culture, we want to maintain local leadership, and we want to empower them. New charters where MSPs come to get better.
Yeah.
Um, and we take great companies and we just empower them to continue to be great. And so my role is really about meeting a highly successful top of the line MSP who doesn't need me to tell them
Yeah.
anything because they're already kicking it, right?
Yeah.
They're already just rocking. So my role is really just to make sure that we can communicate as a group,
Sure.
that our teams have a common language about technology and security, but also that allows working with my CISO to bring a framework that
Yes.
allows a organization with 20 to 150 employees, an a highly successful MSP, to join New Charter, plug right in, take immediate benefit of all the great things that we've built as a platform, but not make them have to change how they do business
Right.
to do that, or as minimally as possible.
What an incredible business model.
Yeah, well, it's why I joined 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and it's proven out now.
That is great. I can't thank you enough for joining me today on and joining our audience today on B2B Tech Talk. Alex, I feel like I already knew you before you came, but now having spoken to you, I feel like I've made a friend. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, Nina and Ingram. We're very glad to be here.
You bet. You bet. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode and you want to continue the conversation online, use hashtag B2B Tech Talk.